Hello, everybody. This is Cassie, and hope everybody's doing good today. Hope everybody is having an amazing week. Um, I am here, and I know everybody is talking about this HR 40, and I figured, I have done research and I've been pulling this thing apart, and I'm telling you, you guys, this is not something that we need to participate. Hey, Maurice, how are you? This is not something that we need to participate in. It's scary. First of all, let me just say, when I come on here, it's strictly informational purposes. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to, I just want us as Black people to be informed because I know some of us don't read. And that's not, sometimes we're a bit too busy. We have other things going on, or we just, we got lives going on. And I do understand that. And if I have an off day and I pretty much set time aside to do my research, and for people that can't, because I know everybody don't like to. I'm a researcher. I love to research. I love information, and I love to find out the hidden things. And I want you guys to hit that button because I got some stuff coming up, and I'm getting ready to uh, really do a lot of investigating on this COINTEL that was back in 1960 in the 70s, and even now today, with this black extremist, black extreme identity group or whatever that they're saying that's here, get ready to do something with that. So you guys hit that button, like and share, because we are going to really hit some important issues, and issues that need to be discussed, and issues that we need to know that's there. A lot of people didn't know about the boule. Got a lot of, you know, your questions about the boule on my internet, my email, about the boule, black boule. I did a video on that, and now I'm doing this, and so it's some things that we're doing here, and it's strictly informational purposes. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, she's always being negative, or she's all no. I'm just trying to bring true issues to the black community for us to know what's really going on. And I tore into this HR 40, and I'm telling you, this thing is ridiculous. It is not promising you any money. It's not promising you that they're going to do anything. And when I got down here to the administrative provisions and what they really plan on doing, it's not, it's just almost like, how somebody will tell you, how you, okay, for instance, me and my husband, we joined this credit thing one time, and what it did was kind of led us on and collected all this money but never got to the end. So what they're doing, and this is the Democratic Party who black folks are so sold out for, that they are holding this HR 40 over your head and saying, hey, vote for me and we're going to give you this. Vote for me and we're going to do this HR 40. And it's kind of like hanging it in the midst. Okay. Not really going to do anything, because if you really looked at this bill, this is only for research study, period. Did you hear me? It's only for research study. It's not to do anything. It's not to give you reparations. It's not to even find out if it's really kind of studies this trying to dig and see if you really need reparations. But if you need reparations, well, what are we going to give you? And I'm telling you, this thing is not telling you, talking about money. It could be talking about giving you a grant. It could be talking about giving you a scholarship. It could just be talking about giving you Black Friday, like we already have. It could just be talking about giving you $50 a month for the next 5 or 10 years. Come on, you guys, that's crazy. But this is a committee that they're trying to form, and my thing is, why do we need a committee? You didn't have a committee when you did the Jews. You didn't have a committee. Well, you kind of had a committee with the Indians, but it was the committee where it was let's talk about the Jews. It was the Jews. They didn't have a committee. They had two parties, and they had the Germans that had their congressional people, and then they had the Jews. They had two committees, not really a committee, two parties. Okay, and but this HR 40 is not talking about two parties. It's talking about the United States investigating a crime. And that's just like me Maurice, and I'm gonna use you for an example because you're here. That's just like me and I come to you and I've done your family or my family generation have done your family wrong, and I come to you and I say, hey, I'm sorry. Let me and my family go back and discuss what we've done to your family, and we'll come to you and tell you we'll tell you what we're going to give you. Okay, but nobody in your family is involved in our conversation, so our conversation is going to be one sided. Am I correct? That's what we're seeing here. This is what's happening. They're talking about the bill where one family is discussing everything, the U.S. is discussing everything and not allowing the ADOS to have anything to say. And with the Indians, they did allow them to come forth and bring their issues forth, and they did allow them to come and talk about the concerns. But with this HR 40, they're not allowing us to come up with anything. They're not allowing us to talk about anything. Okay, I guess they're going to bother me again today. That's okay. And it's crazy, and it's not talking about anything as far as them giving you anything. I don't know what part we left off at, but I know I'm buffing. I know we're gonna do the same thing over in and out. It's okay because I'm still gonna come and I'm still gonna speak truth. It's okay if you guys are just hanging there. So when they tone me out or when they start buffeting me, just know that I'm gonna come right back on and we're gonna continue the conversation because they can't stop us from, talking. It's always going to be something when it comes to us. We can't have anything to say. We have to take the abuse. We have to take the trauma that they've given us 400 years and expect us to be perfect now. And we're going to talk about that. I got some stuff on that too, that we're going to talk about the black community, the black family, and how they destroyed the black family on purpose. And, they want to come in with a, hey, I'm here to help you now. But you were the one that caused the problem in the first place. So whatever. But anyway, back to my HR 40. That bill is bull. It's just something that they're dangling in front of you, and it's not where they're going to allow the ADOS, not the real ADOS. They'll have the coons. They'll have the guy, I think the Williams guy that did come on there and talk crap and talk about different reasons why he believes we should get it, but give us a holiday or give us, a tax credit or give us free education. No, we want the same thing you gave the Jews. You didn't do that when you talked about the Jews. You didn't give them, you gave them a check. Okay, so that's all we want you to do is just cut the check. Period. Plain and simple. Yes, Juan. Yes, that's him. And that's all he did was talk about, we can get a holiday or we can get, it was nothing. He really didn't want you to get anything. And then also Joy Reid has, and Angela talked about, had a guy on there that talked about, that was talking against ADOS and was talking against the HR, was talking for the HR 40 bill. And even with this Jackson, I think her name is Miss Lee Jackson. And she is talking about, this is the one who created this crazy bill that want you to believe that she's really going to do something for black people, which she's part of the Black Caucus. And as we know, they've not done and aren't doing. I tell you, you start talking stuff, they really mess with. That's how you know it's good. And that's how you know it's true. This is funny. I find it very amusing. I do. I do. I'm so sorry. They won't get people like Claude Anderson to come on here and talk about uh, the reparations. They won't get Claude Anderson to come on him and be part of the ADOS. They won't get him and get him his information. He's been talking about this for years. But they'll get people like the Williams guy, and they'll get people like Joy Reeds, and they'll get the Boulets like the Roland Martins that don't believe in reparations. But I actually heard Roland Martin talking about the reparations, on his show the other day. But like I said, I don't watch too much of him. But it was just, I just wanted to see because he had a title reparations, and just wanted to see how he felt about it. But yeah, they're not promising you anything. They're promising you an apology. But we need some black folk on the ADOS panel. They're saying, talking about getting like 13 members total. They're talk. Yes, the yes, the big bird. Yeah, the dude with the yellow outfit. Yeah, I seen him too. They are talking about getting like 13 members. But they're going to let the president pick three. Okay, which you already know they're going to be white. Then they're going to let the Congress pick three. They're going to let the Speaker of the House pick one. So you already know what we're dealing with. Okay, and then the other six are going to be the coons. Okay, they're going to get like the NAACP, who's never done anything for black people. They're going to get the Urban League, who's never done anything for black people. And then they also talked about the educated people that can be on the panel, and these are like professors that teach black history, which are mostly white. So, and which are not teaching the truth anyway. So, that's going to be defeated. But it also talked about even if the 13 members, but the 6 of the 7 members like boycotts or they get, even if it comes at a stalemate. I know you guys. I'm not even going to submit whatever. Even if the 6 comes at a stalemate, the of the 7 can continue voting and continue moving on. But and then let me tell you about this. They also are coming to say that they want Congress to approve $12 million to even start the research. Okay. They want Congress to come and give them $12 million to start this research, which you already know that Congress is not going to approve that. And they will not start the research unless Congress approves of the $12 million, which we already know Congress is not going to approve it. So guess what? This research will never go underway. It will never get underway because Congress is not going to approve the $12 million. And they won't start the research unless Congress does. So there you go, right there. It's not going to happen. Um, it's just I see the research and how they this committee, and you know how often how many times we've had committees. We've had committees when 9/11, there was a committee, and we saw the committees when the plane went down and how everything was investigated. And every time you have a committee, you know you have lies. Okay, you're never going to get the truth, especially if you don't have two sides to that story. If you have just one side, which is America's side of the reparations and the slavery, you're not going to get truth. So that committee that they're talking about forming is just one side of a story, and that's just America. It's not going to have two sides. It's not going to have an ADOS member on it. And my thing is, why do we need a committee? When Bill Clinton signed into law the three strikes law, we didn't have a committee for that. He just signed the bill. When they talked about war on drugs, there was no committee. When they came in and talked about the crack, they wanted to really horn in on the crack epidemic. There was no committee. He just signed into law about the war on drugs. Yeah, you guys, they really don't want this out. They really have a fit with us truth, and they just want us to stay as dumb as we can. Anytime we try to grow, and anytime we try to do something about our culture and try to do something different, we are going to get backlash. You already know that anytime we talking pro black or we talking just black, then we racist or we're called all kind of names. But they can talk and do for themselves and their culture, and nothing comes about it. But this okay. We're gonna still continue on. Um, but like I was saying about the committee, why do we need a committee being formed? When Clinton did his part, they didn't need a committee. They just declared war on drugs and okay, we're back. We're going to continue coming back. It's okay. Um, we're going to keep on coming back. I mean, this is so crazy. It's just really amazing at how I'm not even gonna keep on it. I'm just gonna ignore them and keep on talking and go ahead on. But I really wanted to talk about how it's just really it's not going to happen. Because I don't, Congress is never going to approve a $12 million budget to just research. And they're going to talk to different people just for them to come around and talk to people, talk to professors. And I don't think anybody that really is of importance is going to be on that team, that ADOS team. Like Claude Anderson. If you want to talk to somebody, get Claude Anderson. He is the one that they need to go to if they want to do this ADOS. And if they really had any intentions of doing it, they would just do it. You wouldn't have to get a committee to do anything. You wouldn't need a committee to meet to say, hey, slavery happened. We know what happened. We know what happened in slavery, and slavery is still. Let's talk about the prison system. Let's talk about the KKK. Let's talk about other groups that we have that's stopping us from doing what we need to do. You're not doing anything about the KKK, but you want to talk about the identity extremist groups. Come on, this is crazy. Slavery happened. We're still living under the residue of slavery. It's hard to keep people in traumatize them for 400 years, and then you expect them to come out better than they went in without any treatment. You can have the treatment for everything. You have alcoholic treatment, you have drug treatment facilities, you have all of these facilities to treat trauma, but you don't have any facilities to treat black folk for the slavery, for the trauma that we went through in slavery that our families have just passed down from generation to generation. So, it's never going to change, and we already know what we're working with when it comes to them. We just have to stay focused and never give up. And just we just need to get together and pull together more. I talked about I'm trying to see where, boy, I tell you, this is, they do this to try to keep you off focus, and that is okay. Compensation, I really wanted to talk about the compensation part of it. But just, you have to understand that the compensation is not going to be what you think it is. It's not going to be money. They can deem it to be whatever they want it to be. But just don't forget the ADS, there's no ADS members on that board, so they can deem it anything and you have to accept it. So this bill is not something that's going to be anything that is going to help us right now. It's not going to be anything that you're even interested in. And I just say no to it. I know Sheila Jackson is sometimes we're sold out, and she knows what she's doing. She knows this bill is whack. But sometimes we do stuff trying to appease, trying to get the black vote, trying to keep us hooked into the Democratic Party, which the Democratic Party, and I know, have caused more harm than good to black people. I don't know why in the world we stick with the Democratic Party, knowing that this party has not done black folk any good, and it's not going to do any good. And I keep saying, no reparations, no black agenda, no black vote. And we've given our black vote away for years and years and years, and it's crazy. We've not expected anything, so we've not gotten anything. So now, when we're talking about reparations, now they're looking at us like, you've never asked for that. So what's going on? Y'all not happy? What the black? Yeah, they want you to be happy with absolutely nothing. But the compensation, like I said, it's not promise you anything. Um, you want a scholarship? We already have that. We have grants. We have Black Friday. We have everything. What's so scary is how I was talking about the Indians when they came and did theirs, when they got their reparations, the Indians were able to come to the table and voice their concerns. But they don't want us to voice our concerns. They don't even want to hear about what we have to say. They just want us to go along to get along, and whatever they put on the table, you take it and you be happy with that. But like I said, don't even worry about it. This bill will never pass. This bill has been out there for a long time, but now they're seeing that it's a threat with the black votes. So now they're going to dangle this HR 40 in our faces, and it's not going to fly, because if you really read in this bill, it's loopholes. It's all over the place. This is just not promising you anything. So don't even think that the people that they're going to, the 6 members that they're going to appoint, is going to be members that's going to have your best interest at heart. So I do believe that Miss Jackson knows what she's doing. I believe that she did it on purpose. I believe that she does not have our best interest and has sold us out. And I believe most, if not all, of the Black Caucus also, because like I did a thing on them, and they had nothing in regards to black people on their pages. They had, I think, one for Frederica of what was she, Florida? I want to say Florida, might be wrong, but she was the only one that had anything as far as black anything on her page. The rest of them had immigrants, the LGBT, talking about all that other stuff except black issues. And I'm looking at their pages and I'm like, well, where's your black issues? You have nothing as far as, like, you're not even representing black people. But I told you about that gag rule that they had in place, where you don't even mention black folk, you ignore them. And that's exactly what that gag rule is, still on the books. Okay, it may not, may not say it out loud, but they're doing it. So actions speak louder than words, and sometimes you don't, if you see a law on the books that was a slavery law, it's still, those laws are still there, because they're still operating in those laws. They're not saying it, but they're still, the actions are still there, so that they're still on the books. They're still operating in those laws. Um, but I'm telling you, this thing is nothing good. So if you guys are thinking that you're going to get some money, you're not. I just want to let's talk about the Jews and when they got their reparations, and how they did it. And it was two groups. It was the Germans, Hey, Busta, how you doing? I'm glad you can join us. They've been cutting us off, so we're gonna come back on and keep coming on and keep talking about our issues, and so just bear with us a little bit. They had two groups. They had the Jews had the Germans and the Jewish. They had both had two people on their sides talking about the reparations, and that's not what this bill, the HR 40, is talking about. They're just going to were allowed to come before Congress and speak their cases. Just don't forget they were awarded $3 billion dollars, and then they were also paid for $150 million. So the Jews got, and then still they came back and did another case in '97, I think, and then they got more money, and then also they've done other cases. But the Indians, they told the Indians they could not come back. Whatever they signed, they couldn't come back and request more money. But the Indians did get $3.1 billion from the Indians did get $492 million, and then they also got $3.4 billion, and they built, they had their own communities, land, farms. They did the casinos, of course. They got licenses for the casinos. We could do newspapers. We could build. I'm just saying, if they did give us, we could do factories, and we can do export and imports from Africa. I don't think we should spend money with them. Um, and also the Indians got this license, and they get like they make like $1 million a day on the casinos alone. And then they established a tribal government, and then they also got their a constitution, which I think we should redo the constitution, because they got to get that 3/5 of a person out of there in order for us to be seen as humans. So it's things that do need to be done, but we also need to be considered as a protective class. Just like Dr. Claude Anderson, I love him. He talks about us being a protective class, and I think that's true. Um, Yes, we do. We do. And so guess what? We're making them money. So every time you go to the casino, you're helping out the Indians, okay? But you have to understand they're not going, participate in your businesses. So I think every culture needs to just participate with their own, okay? And we have to develop our own schools and hospitals and all this stuff that's going on now with the schools and and how the schools are disrespecting our children, and their, teacher come in and you stepping on kids and children. You got kids in the closet naked, and it's just crazy stuff that's going on. It just makes no sense, and I don't know what's it going to take for us to get tired. I don't understand what's it going to take for us to want to come on and come together and support each other. You got a lot of black businesses on the internet, on YouTube, on Facebook, that we can participate in, but we won't do it. We don't want, we just, I don't know, but we have to understand that going through slavery, the 400 years still has an effect. The residue is still there. That Willie Linson syndrome is still there. That Stockholm syndrome is. So yes, you have to understand that all of that is still there. Hey, yeah, how you doing? But yeah, you have to understand that the Stockholm syndrome, we still need healing. Everybody got healing from trauma except us. And then you look and say, what's wrong with them black folk? Why they act like that? Well, if you went through 400 years of craziness and trauma, and still going through it with the prison system now today, and the system is still systematical racism, what do you expect? And then they want to look at us like we crazy when you created it. So, with the redlining of a neighborhood, you created the ghetto, you put the drugs in our neighborhood, you did the abortion, and you're still doing it. So now you guys are looking at the opiate epidemic, you're looking at low birth rate with them, you're looking at low sperm count, and then you wondering, but this is stuff you did to us, so now you're getting it back. So I'm telling you, when y'all talks about turning them tables are turning, those tables are turning right now for them, and they don't even understand it. They looking at us like we crazy, and we looking at them like we already see what's going on. But they so busy trying to keep us from getting anything, they are not seeing. They can't see the forest for the trees. They are missing a whole. They're missing it, And Trump's he is so obsessed with Obama. I think this man was in love with Obama, because everything Obama did, he wants to tear it down. Not that he did a whole lot for us, but everything he did, he's trying his best to tear it down, which is, hey, do you. You're not hurting us no way, because, we never had nothing, they not trying to give us nothing, so you're not hurting us, so you can do what you want to do. But I'm just hoping that these white evangelicals, these racist white evangelicals can see him for what he really truly is. And these are people that said, "Oh, Trump is saved and Trump is filled with what? Trump is filled with the devil, whatever." And it's so sad how you call yourself church folk, quote unquote, and you can't even see it. But you full of the devil too. So that's why you say he's so good. You know, so this is just, we just have to, we have to just keep understanding and keep focused, and we can't get discouraged because things are going to happen, and stuff is going to heat up, and it's okay. We have to keep coming on and encouraging each other, that we can do this. This is nothing. Everything that has happened over the years, has just made us stronger. We can handle anything and we can go through anything, and it doesn't affect us like it affects them. They don't, because we got a whole lot of stores and stuff getting ready to close. I was looking at that Seed of Israel, I watch him a lot, and he was talking about, all these stores that's getting ready to close, but it's not going to affect us, it's going to affect them, because they got stock in these stores, and you're going to see a whole lot of suicide right about now. You are going to get ready to see this economy crash like never before. But this is God's way of making us come back to Him, making us turn to each other. He got to do something to get us to turn back from them to each other. We have got to get it in our heads that the stuff that was done to us in slavery, we're still doing it today. We still treating, black men treating the women like crap, but they learned it from slavery. They learned it from massa. Everything that they're doing now, you see, they were doing it in slavery. So now it's just portrayed, and we still passing it on from generation to generation, which is we have not been healed from it. So behavior that you see, you just continue doing because how you correct something that you've been doing for 400 years and that's all you knew? How do you create something new? You have to be sorry, y'all. This is really crazy. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I have never seen anything like this in my life. They really, it's good to watch, I tell you. Yes, but you have to understand a lot of this stuff is created, and we just fell into it, not even understanding the hardship, not really understanding, like for instance, the black family, how for real, it was designed for the families to break up. It was designed with their programs that they offered in our communities. They wouldn't hire men, they wouldn't give them jobs on the street, but they would. It was designed that way. So then the women would come to them for help as far as welfare. And then they would say, okay, you can't have that man in the house. Now, who says that? You want to help somebody, but then want to tell them how you're going to get help and then tell them you got to split your family up to get this help. You know what? Then you need to keep that. We fail to realize it was 2 paychecks is better than 1. But guess what? It was created so that if they don't employ your husband or they don't employ your boyfriend, then guess what? You're going to have to come for these programs because you can't make it on that, what, $5 that you were making. It probably wasn't even that back in the day that you were making in order to take care of your family. So you have to understand a lot of this is systematic that you're seeing today was created by them, and then they looked it up and say, okay, well, you need to pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Well, they know, give me the boot. You took the boot. How am I pull myself up by a bootstrap that I don't even have? You kept the boot, took the boot, and then telling me to pull myself up by the bootstrap. Well, can I have the boot, please? And then I will. But they're going to make sure you don't get the boot because they know if you get the boot, you're going to get another boot and another boot and another boot. So they know it's in us because we did it in Black Wall Street. They've seen where we've done it before. So they know we can build. And it's so sad at how I often mention Martin Luther King, how he was used by them. And he was used by them in order to destroy black communities. And it's so sad, but it's true. And it's okay because a lot of us still don't know that he was part of the plan. And a lot of people, and I don't know if he knew at the beginning, but I believe at the end he knew what was going on. And that's why he made that statement that I think I've taken my people into a burning building. Because I think he knew. And I think he was kind of put into kind of pulled into it before he really actually knew what he was being pulled into. But I think, at the end he knew, but the damage was done. Okay. And we had over 200 cities before Martin Luther King actually went into those meetings and wanted to segregate us. We had everything. We had our own businesses. So it's not like we don't know. We were doing better than them. So that's why they came in and did all the New York riots and the St. Louis riots and Green and Rosewood and all these different riots that came on. It was your government that did that. Who else could bomb a city in Black Wall Street? Who else had planes? It wasn't other countries. It was the U.S. government that bombed Black Wall Street. Now, they even owe money for that. And I think the Britain owe us money for reparations. I think the Jews owe us money because they financed it also. I think the Caribbeans, you have to understand, a whole lot of countries owe us money. It's not just America. It's just a whole lot of people owe us money for all the damage and all the craziness that went on. The government bombed those people, those homes. Who does that? Who has that much hate? You seeing somebody survive and they living without you. You so full of the devil, and that's what it is. These are the devil's children. I keep telling people, these white folks are the devil's children. They are the devil's children, and they, come in and they bomb a whole city, and you got families dying. Now they had land, had insurance on the land, and the insurance companies would not even participate. They wouldn't even pay these people. They paid the men with the guns and the bullets, but it's not. They didn't pay them for bombing their homes, but they paid insurance companies for insurance that they didn't get reimbursed for. That's crazy, but that's another story. But we have to understand that we could do it, and they know we can do it. Yep. Yes, and they still, and it's so crazy how we don't even understand what's really going on. They did 9/11. I don't care what nobody say. I guess they're going to block me for that too. But they did 9/11. I don't care what nobody say. One country, we went to war with a whole different country that did nothing to us. That was an excuse to go to war, but then that was in a committee. They had a committee, the same committee that they want to do for this HR 40. They had a committee then that said, "Oh, well, they have weapons of mass destruction." Then come to find out, Colin Powell lied because they put him up to lying. He, made him look bad, but then, they had didn't find out that they didn't have any weapons. But U.S. is dirty. U.S. did a lot of that. They bombed their own, killed thousands in 9/11. They have a lot of blood on their hand. But this is the government. Then they went over there in Pittsburgh. You had a whole plane that hit the ground, didn't see no parts, didn't see no clothes, didn't see nothing. But that jet that just landed, the Ethiopian jet, okay, I'm not going to tell you. I believe the U.S. had something to do with that because you had a lot of sex trafficking people that was working with the sex trafficking on those flights, okay? So I believe the U.S. had something to do with that too. You're not going to tell me these brand new planes are just falling out the sky with no help. No, I'm not believing it. I know too much about the U.S., honey, to believe that, okay? But you have to understand this is what they do. And then they want to look at you like then they do stuff, and then we have these ghettos that they created. So, and we saw them killing us in slavery, so we doing the same thing that they taught us. So yeah, they doing the same thing to us. They looking at us like, what y'all niggas doing? Why y'all killing each other? Why y'all acting like that? And we looking at them like, you taught us everything we know. You taught us. That's just like Hitler. They wrote Hitler and they asked Hitler, why was he killing all them things? So just like what Hitler said, they asked Hitler, why you killing fake Jews over there? What did he say? He said, I'm treating them the way you treating the black folk in America. Same thing. So we learned from them how to treat each other because that's all we saw. We didn't see them loving on us. We didn't see. So the behavior is almost like the babies was taking up what the parent was showing us how to treat each other. So we took on that behavior. That's what your kids do is what they see you doing, not what you say. They do what they see you doing, and then they act like you, and then you look at them and say, "Well, girl, where you learn that at? What's wrong with you? You done gone crazy." But you done forgot. You have learned. You have taught them everything they know. So when they acting crazy, you have to look at you and say, "Okay, Lord, what did I teach my child? What have I passed down to my child?" That's exactly what's happening now. So when you see, yes, we can change a little, but how do you change? How do you rechange behavior you've been doing for 400 years? That's my question. We want our men to be men, and they didn't see positive men. Massa wasn't positive to them. The men that they got wasn't positive. The men that women are choosing aren't positive. They beat them and they're abusing them and doing other crazy stuff. So they're not fathers. They're not being married. So you want a husband, but you want a husband that don't know how to be a husband. You want a man that don't know how to be a husband, that don't know how to be a father because it wasn't portrayed and he didn't see it. So we want our men to do what? We we want our men to do what? They weren't taught. They didn't have positive role models. Think back. What was the positive role? They didn't have pastors that was teaching them because that wasn't these boulets weren't teaching families anything. They weren't teaching about the family. They weren't teaching men how to be men. They weren't teaching men how to be husbands. They weren't teaching men how to be fathers. They weren't teaching men how to be providers. What was the church teaching our men? Nothing. Teaching us how to pay tithes. Yeah, I learned that real good. Teaching us how to sow seed. Teaching us about their church anniversary. Teaching us we gonna one day get it and by, get it in the sky, whatever. Okay. but were they teaching women how to be mothers, how to be protectors, how to love your children? If you knew for 400 years and you treated your children like crap because you couldn't show them love, because if you showed love, then they would take your children. What did they teach us? Just what you're seeing today. Yeah, you have some women that are doing it, some women that broke the cycle, but it takes a mind. You got to understand what's going on in order to break that cycle. You got to actively see that cycle. You got to actively want that cycle to be broken. But if you don't know you're in a cycle, then you're going to continue it on, knowing that my mom treated me like this, so you treat your daughter like that. It's hard to break the cycle once you've seen that cycle for so long, you guys. So let's not be so hard on each other, because our men are doing what they saw, what they were taught to do. But we as women, we're doing the same thing. We're doing what we were taught to do. But how do we break that cycle? Breaking that cycle is changing your mindset. Breaking that cycle is healing your mindset, healing your heart, and healing the hurt, and doing it together. And not coming on Facebook and YouTube talking down on your culture. White folk don't do that. They don't come on here talking about their men. They don't come on here talking about their women. We're the only ones that do that. But you have to understand, turn that TV off, because the media and the TV shows like Empire and Power and all them ghetto Atlanta Wives, all them ghetto shows are teaching you how to be more ghetto. And you don't have sense enough to turn that mess off. You'll sit there and watch that crazy stuff, and what it's going into your psyche, so you're continuing that bad behavior. And you wonder why I can't get out of this. Well, turn the TV off and get into some positive stuff. Start doing some research, and you'll see what's really going on. You're sharpen your mind up, then you'll change the behavior. But if you don't change your mindset, and you still watching garbage going in, garbage is coming out. So you cannot do anything different if you don't have if you've not seen anything new. I could sit up here and I could see, if I grew up in the projects, that's all I know. I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else but the projects. But my thing is, once we see some different things, we can do some different things. Once we get a different mindset, but it's gonna take us actively doing it, and that's not what we're doing. We're not actively, we're not setting out to change our mindset. We are setting out to continue that same behavior. But it's okay. Still, get there. We're gonna get there eventually. But it's gonna take work. I'm trying to read some of the comments now. Um, but a lot of us, Bertha, do a lot of black folk, young folk, love those crazy shows, and they watch them faithfully. And I guess it's some type of entertainment, but what do you do? How do you get? We have to start doing something new. We have to get our children involved in some positive stuff. My thing is, they were talking about this young lady, Cardi B. My thing is, I would never let my child listen to her music. I would never. And we as parents can stop all this. We as parents can, we have the power, but we're not using the power that we have the power to stop this, but we're not doing it. We still buy the music. We still bring it on our radios, and we still listen to it. Turn off those radios. When you hear that disgusting music, we need to be letting these artists know that we expect more and we demand more. And until you start producing some better music, we're not even going to listen to it. But who's going to do that? We won't even hold our money. We see the police brutality out here, and we won't do anything about it. We're getting mad, but we're not doing anything about it. We're not stopping it. We're not. What are we doing? But complaining about it and fussing about it. But we're not doing anything different. So my thing is, we have to do better. We have to get our mindset right, and we as a group of people have to start somewhere, and it starts with us individually. But if you don't step out to change things, nothing's going to change. And it's so sad how we do when we do step out. Some people are so afraid to step out because they're afraid of all of this repercussions. Yeah, I got it. Repercussions, and the backlash. But I don't care about the backlash. I don't. Look, I'm too old to care about it. Who cares? My thing is, I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna say it when I get ready to say it, and there's nothing they can do about it. Um, we'll say any children. Oh, I missed that comment. It went off too soon. I'm trying to read some of the comments to see what's what. Lord, people. Yes, I'm trying to read some of the comments. I know, Bertha, you said you wouldn't let it past 2005. I know, because I'm telling you now, me and my husband, we was watching, he watches a lot of that. They have us on the hit list of who they gonna let and who they not. Um, I think they have us on the hit list, but my thing is it doesn't matter because guess what? We're gonna still say we need to say. They don't run nothing. You can't control somebody's mouth. They want to control what you say and stuff when they get you discouraged. But so it's all good though. So we as black folks, we have to get to the point where we're being positive and we are holding our musicians and entertainers to a higher level. It's sad where you see, what you see as far as the music videos and we've been just accepting whatever music comes out, we take it on, we suck it up like sponges because we don't know who we are and we don't have a culture and we don't know our culture. We don't even know who we are. And then when you try to tell the church and when you try to tell the black folk who they really are, they look at you like it's impossible. We can't be the real Israelites. We can't be the real Hebrews. We can't be the real people in the Bible. The Bible was written by a white person. No, they want you to believe that. They want you to believe that the Bible was written by a white man, but it wasn't. It was written by a black man. And it was, it was kind of also the Catholic Church had a lot to, they kind of rewritten some things also, like worship on Sunday, which is supposed to be Saturday, and then you'll have pastors like T.D. Jakes say, "Oh, every day is the holiday, every day is the Sabbath day," which that's not what the word. And then you have teachers, pastors, bootleg pastors preaching, "No, every day is and you can talk about the holidays and." They don't have a difference in Christmas, and you can celebrate Christmas, which is pagan. The Roman Catholics combine Christmas and pagan holidays with Christianity, and that's how they came up with these holidays. But that's on you. You guys have to do your own research on that. Um, Yeah, you said, Bertha, you way back there, 2000. You way back there, Bertha, and you're right. It was free, but now, honey, you gonna pay for that? I don't pay. I do the yeah. I'm not a TV watcher like that, so I don't do cable. I think my husband has like one of them Fire Sticks, and we do that, and I do the internet, and I'm a researcher. I'm on the computer all the time. I don't do a whole lot of TV. Every now and then I watch something, but I don't do a lot of TV. And I think you if y'all notice, y'all the ones that do watch TV, you have to understand that it's just poisonous. You'll see a lot of sickness and disease on those TVs. I don't watch the TV because I see a lot of sickness and I see a lot of disease, and that's what they talk about. And what you feed into your spirit is what you become. So just be very careful if you watching TV for long periods of time. The commercials talk a lot about sickness and disease, and they want everybody on medication. So you have to understand, and it's connected to medication, and it's nothing good. But you have to understand what they tried to feed you. But our main topic today was about the HR 40. And I just want you guys to know that it's nothing good in that HR 40. And I did talk about I didn't go through a lot of it because I was getting cut off so bad. But it's not good for us. It's just something that they're dangling in your face. And it's a bill that's never going to pass. It's a bill that has nothing good for us in it. They're not talking about reparations for you. They're talking about a study. I'm just recapping on everything we talked about. It's just talking about a study, findings. They're going to talk about the findings, and they're going to talk about the purpose of, you know, it's it's nothing that's really going to come to a conclusion. You know how they have those committees and what the committees mean. And de jure, they have one language in here that talked about the de jure and the de facto, which talks about being legal. And I had some, I had the meaning of what those words meant. And it's just talking about legality, what was legal and what wasn't. And de jure, the word is just describing something that exists legally, and de facto is in fact or in effect, um, whether it being right or wrong, and that's what those two words meant. The de jure, but you have to understand. Like I said, it's long, and a lot of people aren't gonna want to read it because it talks about stuff we already know. The establishment and their duties. Establishment talks about the establishment of the committee, which is for African American. But like I said, it's not going to have any real true ADOS people on it. It's not like Claude Anderson. It's going to have some black people on there, but it's two different type of black folk. and they're not going to have the black folk like Claude Anderson. They're going to have the black folk like the NAACP, the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, okay, the sellouts, okay, the boule. So you have to understand they pay the boule to do just what they're doing, to sell out black people and to stick up for them. They don't pay the boulets to take up and have the black folks back. So you have to understand a lot of black folks are sold out to the boule, which is attached to Skull and Bones. So if your pastor is part of the boule, he's part of Skull and Bones, which he sold the soul out. So yeah, he's part, and it's sad, but it is true. But people don't want to understand that. Um, oh, really? It's trash. Yes, it is. It really is. And we have to understand we don't need a committee. We already know what we went through. We know we went through hell. We know we went through slavery. We know, went through alligator baiting. We went through bucking our men, buck breaking. Went through all of that crazy stuff, and we know what we're going through even today with the prison reform or lack thereof, and the police brutality. The same stuff we was going through back in the day. We're still going through that. Um, who is Russian blacks? Who is that? Talk to me about that. I don't know. Didn't know about that. When I have to write that down. I love stuff like that. I have to research that. I'm gonna have to research that one. I'll write it down so I don't forget. I like to, that way I can look it up later. I like to stay informed. I love researching. Then it talked about the denial of humanity, which we know, sexual abuse. We know that happened. Um, Okay. Yes. I don't know about that movie. I was trying to decide if I wanted to see that new Tajay movie because to me it talked about a lot of forgiveness. I'm tired of black folk forgiving. Oh, they have a trailer. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know about her new movie because I get so upset when I go and see those black movies like that, that talk about black folk and, and forgiveness, and we didn't get so brainwashed that that's the first thing we want to do. We don't even come out the hospital, we forgiving somebody, just like that young man that yeah, just like that white guy who shot that black. He got the black guy is paralyzed now, and the first thing they asked is, "Do you forgive?" And he watched the whole video so you can understand because we've been buffing and so and we've been kicked off. So hopefully you guys will come back and check this video out and talking about okay, they even talked about they will offer us a formal apology, which we've already gotten on behalf of the United States. Okay, that could be your reparations, just an apology. Okay, so they're not really talking about giving you anything in here. I didn't see money. I've seen a lot of other stuff besides money, and how the injury talks about how we've been affected. Um, and then it talks about the report to Congress. So she's gonna then, after she does this report, she's the findings, the research, she's gonna give it to Congress, and for the findings and the recommendations. So it's not really talking about doing anything. What really gets me is how this thing, the membership talks about 3 members shall be appointed by president. So they're going to be white. The 3 members are going to be appointed by the Speaker of the House, and 1 member is going to be appointed by the President of the Senate. Okay, and she said 6 members shall be selected from the major civil society and reparations organizations that have historically championed the cause of reparatory justice. Now now you know there's not going to be a Claude Anderson. Okay, it's going to be more like when I see it, NAACP, and some of them other clowns, Joy Reeds and Angela, whoever, whatever they call themselves. Um, Yes, cut the check. I wish they would just, all of this craziness is just to dangle in front of your face to keep you coming back voting Democrat. Okay, because they said, hey, if we keep them, if we give them the HR 40, they're going to believe that we're really getting close to doing something. And they ain't getting close to doing anything because they don't care about anything. They're not trying to give you any money. You just better know that. So don't expect the check. I'm just saying, because this research has to be done before they're going to cut you anything. And it's they're asking for $12 million to even start the research. So what do you need $12 million to start to go through records that you already know that you have in Come on, you already have the records. You already know what's going on. You already know who was in slavery. You already have all this you're asking for. So you're gonna spend time, waste our time, making us think that you're doing something that why would it take $12 million and Congress is not gonna give you $12 million to investigate black folk. You already know that. So we can count this. This HR 40 is a no go, and you can count on it being a no go. And then talked about the powers of the commission and what the powers of the commission had. No powers. Um, they don't have the power to do anything because everything that they checked on, they're going to give it to Congress and then they're going to vote on it the same way they vote on everything else. But Clinton, like I said, Clinton didn't need to a committee when he vowed three strikes law, did he? When he vowed drug on America, the war on drugs, and put all our men in jail. He didn't have a committee, did he? He just did what he wanted to do. When people want to do what they want to do, they go on and do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, investigate something that you know that happened for 400 years. Come on. So this is just a ploy. And it's so sad how we've sold each other out. And this Miss Jackson has no intentions. Yeah, they can give us that 12 million. I want more. I don't want just 12 million because we are worth trillions. What we've gone through, nobody has gone through what we've gone through and still going through. Even they gave the Jews trillions. I mean, they gave them so much money, and they still giving them money all the time. The Indians still get 170 million a year, and they got 3.3 billion from Obama. They got 3.3 billion from Obama, and the Jews they got 492 million, and then they got 3.3 trillion. So, and then they turn around and got more, and they still get more. So don't tell me, we should be having lawsuits pop up across the nations, you guys, because our 13th and 14th Amendment has been violated because we're supposed to be treated and given the same rights and the same uh, conditions and the same things that they're giving to white folk, but they're not doing that. Education should be on the same level. um, Housing. They redlined our housing. That should have been a lawsuit right there. They gave us a ghetto. That's a lawsuit right there. Black Panthers got killed. That's a lawsuit right there. They had programs. They got the Ku Klux Klan. We should have been having the Black Panthers. Ours wasn't committing treason and they weren't killing people, but the Klan was and is and still in process and in motion. That's okay because they're gonna get theirs too, and they don't understand that they're next in line. Okay, so they next in line for their butts to be whooped, okay, by y'all. So they can act crazy. And you know what I say every time the police officer gets off and, she shooting these little boys. And this is part of that identity extremist that the FBI put out to the different to the nationwide for the police officers, sent it to all of the police stations, and this is really why another reason why they're killing us the way because they said they're afraid, they're not afraid. That's just an excuse, and gives them the right to shoot. Because what you hear is, oh, I was afraid for my life, but this cat, that young brother is running away from you. So how are you afraid for your life? You have to understand the wording that they're using that's getting them off, and you have to understand that this is they can say I'm afraid for my life, but you running away, and then they can say, oh, I was protecting the property in the community, so that person was run away, so I had to stop them from running into the community and causing more harm. So that's why either you run toward them, you're gonna get shot. You running away, you're gonna get shot. So I mean, but we've been running since slavery because we always knew that when we got caught, we was gonna either die or it was gonna be very painful. Something was gonna cut off, or that weapon was gonna hurt, and so you have to understand while we run, and they don't understand. They say, "Oh, you need to stand there and conform, and and follow rules and follow the laws or whatever." But we know the benefits, and we know that in the past, when slave catchers caught us, that we died. And slave catchers are what police are today. The names have been changed, but the function and the job description had not been changed. So they're doing the same thing that they was doing with Freddie, Hampton and Huey, same thing with the Black Panthers was fighting. The same thing today. 50 years later, you guys. They're still fighting this 50 years later. This is crazy. Why are we still fighting for the same thing 50 years later? Wow, that's crazy. This everything is connected to this HR 40. It's all connected. Because they're trying to make you think that they're getting ready to do something. Yah's word said, "No man shall buy you. No man shall buy you means nobody can save us. Martin Luther King couldn't, Malcolm X couldn't. Nobody, everybody that tries, they die. No man shall buy you. No man shall buy you. That means nobody can help you out of this. You can, he's the only one that can do it. So guess what? We just have to be patient and wait for him to do it. And just like they talk about the termination on here, I keep going back and forth because I want you guys to understand, not to forget. I talk about other stuff, but it's still about that HR 40. And you guys need to pass this video on, you guys need to go on my website. I have on my Facebook page, I have the printing as far as HR 40. You can print it out and you can read it. But you have to say when people are talking about the HR 40, no, it's a no-go because it has nothing. And anytime other black folks, and it's sad, it's gonna come up with something. It's always gonna be somebody that's gonna have the hand in there that's gonna make it be something else that's not for us. And we got a lot of sellouts in the black community. We got a lot of boulets. We got a lot of people that have been paid off by white Zionists and the elites. They don't do it for us, to us. We do it to ourselves because they pay them to do. They pay them to do it for us. They pay them to do it, to come in and to to distract us and to make us think it's one thing and it's something else. They pay them to do that because we trust them, just like our pastors. They paid our pastors. We trusted our pastors to have our backs to do the right thing, but we could shut those churches down by not going because they're not doing anything for you. Yeah, we go, we shout, we feel good, we come back, and we still face the same stuff in our communities. Do you see the black pastors coming out talking about police brutality? No. Do you see them saying anything about the prison reform? No, they're not going to. Do you wonder why? Do we even wonder why aren't our pastors? We talking about the white folks stepping out. Our black folks ain't stepping out. Black pastors aren't talking about police brutality. Black pastors aren't talking about prison reform. Black pastors aren't talking about what's going on in the black communities, our fathers, our families being separated, the abortions right now that's up the yin yang with black communities. They're talking about Jesse Jackson. I remember a time when he was running for president. This was way back in the day. Planned Parenthood backed him, and he was against. He was for it. He was against the abortions at first. Planned Parenthood backed him, gave him money to run for presidency. He started talking about abortion. Remember that? Jesse Jackson. He sure did back in the day when he ran for president. Look it up. He was against abortion at first. Then he turned around and started talking for it. Okay? So you have to understand our black leaders have sold us out. We have absolutely nobody to speak up for us, nobody to fight for us. Nobody cares. And we're going to have to understand that. And we're going to have to get it together and just know that it is what it is. So let's just remember that it's always going to be black first. So we just have to, I'm just walking, trying to get my charger because I got my charger. Yeah, so just trying to get my charger here. But we have to remember it's going to always be black first, you guys. We're going to stay focused, and no matter how hard this thing get, we can do it because we were born for such a time as this. Y'all see my little hut, my husband's pool table. I've just intruded his room, taken over his room. But we have to understand and keep focused, you guys, and just know that our time is coming and our time is here, and it's going to begin to, you're going to begin to see some things taking place now, and you can't feel sorry for them because they're not feeling sorry for you. But it's not always about, and this forgiveness thing, it just sucks, not always talking about forgiving somebody. We'll say only the talks about it. Really? Huh. Okay. But when we want the prisons to be more as far as like you getting ready to legalize marijuana, okay, right? What are they gonna do about all those people that they put in jail for having marijuana now that you're gonna legalize it? Are you gonna let them out? And these people got a lot of time, okay? But I seen where it was going to be for the opiates. I seen a program where they're opening up places in like Pittsburgh, Philly, where they're allowing them to go and inject themselves. Okay, injecting sites they'll call them. But when our folks was on this stuff, what'd you do? You put them in jail. But when they folks do stuff, nothing happens. Just like I seen little white boy going through the black in Atlanta. He went through the black community. He was shooting up. Did it 2 mornings in a row. You think they got? Do you think they caught that young man? Nope. Couldn't find him. But then you had two guys. I saw on the news yesterday that two guys robbed four white boys, and you couldn't even see their faces, and they got them. So that's how were you able to get them when you couldn't even see their faces? This little white boy walked through the black community shooting up 2 days in a row, 2 mornings in a row. I mean, he was shooting, had one of the assault rifles, was shooting, and still couldn't even find him. Don't even know who he is. But you know what they do, what they want to do. But we have to get to the place where we're policing ourselves. And I think the Black Panthers had that idea. They open carried. Jasmine, how you doing? We have, you guys have to bear with me, because we're targeting, my videos, but it's okay because I'm still speak truth. Y'all just bear with me a little bit. Um, anytime black folks speak truth, they're gonna try to stop you, and it's okay. I'm not scared of them. I don't care. I don't care. But we have to stay focused, just like I was saying about the Black Panthers. They had it together. They were open carry, and I believe that we, as black folk, need our to practice our Second Amendment. We need to get our weapons. We need to get our permits and our conceal, our permits and stuff that we need to open carry. You have to put it on your person, ladies. Don't put your weapon in your purse. Because guess what? If people see you fumbling through your purse, they're going to snatch your purse and they got your weapon. You have to keep it on your person. You cannot put it in your purse. Because as you know, ladies, we put everything in our purse and we can't get to nothing when we need it. You can't even find a pen. Can't even find your cell phone in that thing sometimes. It be ringing and you looking all over. So do not put your weapon in your purse. You put it on your person. You get a holster and you put it on your person. And I'm just saying, we have to, get your mace, get your tasers. You have, keep your bullets in your gun. Keep your bullets, keep your gun with you. Okay, you don't have your bullet, your gun in the, you got your gun in the bedroom, and then you got your bullets in the other room. No, 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 that's not gonna help you when you need it. But you go out, ladies. I need you to be careful. If you don't have to go out at 4 in the morning, if you don't have to go out late at night, do not. We have to start changing our mentality, and this is just what's going on. We are not changing our mentality. We are not changing. We're not seeing them as our enemies because we just believed that they were our friends and they never were. I believe that even when we had given them our children for school to teach our children, and Jane Elliott, I don't know if you guys will ever watch her. She said that it takes from age 5 to 18 to brainwash our children, and that's exactly what we've done. We've given our enemies our children and wanted them to teach our children. And what have we done? We've given our children to our enemies, and they've taught us how to hate themselves. And what's that saying? Malcolm X said, "Only a fool will allow your enemies to teach your children," and that's what we've done. So I think we should check into homeschooling. I think we should pull our monies together. We have a lot of celebrities that are black that like can do stuff, do stuff in the black community, like, schools and, things like that, but they won't because they're part of the boule. Have gotten theirs, and they cannot help others because if they do, then their monies will get snatched. So you have to understand that if white folk make you, then they can break you. Okay? If white folk make you, they can break you. So this is, you have to get this money on your own as far as us supporting each other. And I believe there's a lady on the internet, Dr. Harnett, and she does black businesses as far as in Africa. So if anybody is interested, she'll teach you, she'll show you, she talks about a lot about exporting, importing from Africa. I'd like to get into that to understand more about it. I think we have to spend more with us overseas in Africa. She said she'll teach you how to have a business and where in Africa to put that business. Yep, that's okay. Um, Bertha, I was trying to see what you said about the 50 years. 50 years, if we keep voting, another 50 years will go by and we have to pull our resources. Yes, I think that we need our own political party. I think that we've voted Democrat long enough. I think that now it's time for us to do something different. I think it's time for us we can have an ADOS political party. Excuse me, you guys. We can have an ADOS political party. Stop voting Democratic. And the Republicans aren't going to help you. It's the same bird. Yep, it's okay. Um, Takes time for us to get connected, reconnected. It's okay though. So yes, I believe that we have to stop voting Democrat. We need an ADOS political party. But like I said, the Rolling Martins will tell you that you need to continue voting Democrat. But as we see, the Democrats have cost us more deaths. They've caused the black folk more harm than good. If you do your research, the Clintons, he did nothing good. They called him the first black president. I don't know why, because he what smoked a joint and played the saxophone. What is that? What you relate black folk to? Please. Um, no, we just so crazy. And Biden, he was terrible. If you look up Biden, he was terrible. He was the most racist. But your president, Obama, put him in office with him, which he knew Obama wasn't gonna do nothing for black folk anyway, which is sad. It's so hard to trust different, so hard to trust black folk now. It's so sad, and I shouldn't even say that because all black folk aren't bad. But when they start talking against reparations, when they start talking against AEOS, when they start talking against the black movements, then you know that they're part of the boule. That's the key for us to start recognizing who's for us and who's not. When they start talking against black issues that you know is going to be good for us, then you know that that's part of the boule. Okay. And I did a thing, if you want to really understand what the boule is about, I did a series on that on my, wasn't a series, it was just a, research thing that I did. So, and it is on my Facebook page. But I'm going to talk about some real good issues, and we're going to talk about this corpus, what this COINTELPRO. We're going to talk about that. And yeah, I'm getting ready to dig into that. We got some, so hit the like button, the share button, like and share this video because we are going to get into some real deep issues. Um, and we're going to continue to talk about black issues because I'm black first. I mean, people, you talk about black issues and people call you racist, but then they talk about their stuff all the time. They help each other. They help each other. They can do crimes and not pay for doing a crime and get away with it. So we have to be black first. We have to talk about it. And I was talking about this one young lady that was trying to have the different businesses in Africa. I think we do need to hook up with them and do those different businesses. And her name is Dr. Harnett on Facebook. No, I'm sorry, on YouTube. And she'll teach you how, teach you what's a good spot, where in Africa. She'll teach you the business that's more prominent right now. Like if you want to get into wine selling, that type of stuff. It's just different things that you can do that we can hook up with imports and exports of Africa. Because like I said, if you don't own your own, then white folks own you, then they can shut you down at any moment, and you don't want them to have that much control over you. Being free is being free financially also, and having your own online stores won't hurt. If it doesn't cost, Shopify doesn't cost that much to do it, $50. That'll get you your domain for 10. Your Shopify, they'll walk you through it. So you decide what you want to sell. You can sell men's shoes, you can sell raincoats, you can sell watches, you can sell sunglasses, you can sell anything. And then there's a young lady on here on YouTube, Tiffany. I think she's amazing. She is on fire, and she will help you with your business. She's amazing. And she does, she teaches you how to have your business advertising on YouTube. So we have to invest. If we're going to get free, we're going to have to get our mindset straight to understand that we have to have our own, and we have to patronize our own, and we have to be black first. And just because you're black first does not mean you're racist. Just because you're black first does not mean that you don't like anybody else. You are just black first because I'm watching out for mine first. Just like Chinese watch out for theirs, the Indians watch out for theirs. You have these cultures that don't even mingle. The Indians don't mingle. The Chinese don't mingle. The Indian, all these cultures, the Arabians, all these cultures, they don't mingle. Black folk, the only one that mingle with white folk. We the only one that marry white folk. We the only one that put white women. Our men are the only ones that put white women ahead of black women. We don't know it, but you have to understand where that came from. Those white women are forbidden fruit. This is something, haven't you known when you were little, when your mom said, "Don't touch that," and what we do, we touched it anyway, didn't we? Okay, that same thing. That's the same thing as forbidden fruit. So we're touching the forbidden fruit, and then we're looking at them and say, "Now, what you gonna do about it?" And they looking at you like, "Oh, I'm gonna take every dime that you got because as soon as you make her mad, she gonna either cry rape, or she gonna have children by you and take your alimony and take child support. Oh man, I must have been talking about stuff. Here, Dar. Yes, yes, Adar, you are so right. We are the only ones that will put other races first. We will hurt you for them. We will hurt our own. Just like I was looking at that the other day where the white dude had was what's his name, Austin, that was beating up the black girl, and the black guy was sitting out there talking to me. You know, he was, oh man, she's a woman, but he didn't help. Okay, but if that had been a black dude fighting a black girl, or I mean, a black dude fighting a white somebody, do you not know that black dude would have helped him? You know what I'm saying? Would have broke it up and would have had something to say. But we have to, this is what I'm saying. We have to change our mindsets, okay? We have to get to the place where we are trusting each other, and I give you permission to love each other. I give you permission to think black first. I give you permission to put yourself first. And I know they I know I know they doing some stuff. I know they keep cutting me off, but you guys can just hang in there with me. But I'm almost done. But go back and redo the video, so because I know my train of thought, that's what they trying to do, but it's okay. But if we have to get there, get to the mindset that we're acting black, and give ourselves permission to be black, give ourselves permission to love one another, give ourselves permission and forgive. Men, you got to forgive women, because we didn't know half of what's going on now. We've been brainwashed. We didn't understand the enemy. We didn't understand the tactics. These devils been around way before us, and we don't think like them. We don't have the heart like them. We can't treat people the way they have treated us. That's not in us. We don't know how to think devilish. We don't know how to think. The stuff that they come up with is demonic. People have to understand, we dealing with devils. We are dealing with demons. We are dealing with people that don't mean us no good, and they just want to hurt. And that's all they want to do, and that's what they do. We don't know how to think like that. We don't have know how to. We don't see stuff like that. We would never treat them the way they treat us. And you know it. And I know it. But we have got to change our mindset. These are not your friends. They hate you. We are the only ones that will send our children to the service to fight a war and fight for another country's freedom when you're not free yourself. Stop sending your children to fight for these devils. Let them send their own children to fight. You see more black kids and low income white kids in the service than you do white kids. Bush kids ain't going to service. Trump kids ain't going to the service. You are fighting. He'll put your children in the service and put them to fight for crazy stuff that don't even matter. You fighting for somebody else's freedom, and you're not free yourself. Then you come home, then you get hung in your service uniform. Are you, boy? Y'all better stop. I can't take this today now. I can't do this. That just right there blew my mind right there. When I said it out loud, it just hurt my heart so bad. And then I thought about how we used to sit in these restaurants where Martin Luther King said we're gonna be nonviolent, and people spitting in your faces and all this crazy, and yet they sitting there taking it. I don't know. I just know I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't even been out there marching. I ain't gonna lie, because it would have, you spit on it would have been on. I'm just saying. I'm not, no. I was one of them teenagers that would let you spit in my face and get away with it and time out. I'm forgiven and girl, that was a lie. I'm sorry. It just hurts my heart to even think about what I'm seeing now. And I'm not gonna be here long. I just want you guys to like and share. If we missed any points, I'll be back to. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be back tomorrow, but I'm doing some research on, like I said, this COINTELPRO, and I'm telling you, this stuff hurts my heart to even do research on it. It just we have been through so much, you guys. We have been through so much, but we almost done. Hang in there. We are almost at the finish line. Every day I look in the news, and when I see, stuff like the frogs in Florida, it just reminds me that y'all, he still has our backs. We still we need to start calling out to him more, crying out to him more. But like I said, they dinging my videos now, so I can't even get on here and talk straight through without them cutting me off. But it's okay. It's all good. Y'all just bear with me, and I appreciate the ones that did bear with me. Appreciate the ones that hung in there and had comments. My website is Hard Truths on Facebook, Hard Truths, HARDTRUTHZ 12. If you have questions at gmail.com. So if you have questions, comments, whatever, just hit me up there. I do have a Facebook page, Consider Cheek, Consider Cheek. Facebook. So if you have, you know, comments, I do have a lot of information on my Facebook page. So if you want to go in there and check it out, you can. Feel free. Um, but with that said, you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And thank you for checking in. And we black first, you guys, and say no to that HR 40 and ADOS all the way. We got to change our mindsets. And with that said, thank you for joining, you guys, and have an amazing day on purpose.